everyone, my name is Amal and you're watching Newsbreak. Coming up on today's show, China's gaming ban, Hurricane Ida's trail of destruction, and meet this 82-year-old stunt pilot. But before we do anything, why don't you hit that subscribe button and we'll all be happy. China has banned kids from playing online games for more than 3 hours a week. The government is worried about gaming addiction and has come up with some high-tech ways to clamp down on it. Leela explains.
Leela, enough gaming for today.
Mom! You probably know this scene all too well.
Who are you talking to? Oh,
Mom!
hello.
But for kids in China, it's not a parent telling you to stop playing, it's the government. Since 2019, the country has had a video game curfew for gamers under 18, which meant from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. every day, it's government-enforced switch-off time, with a limit on how much you can play a day. China says it's worried about gaming addiction, the impacts it can have on physical and mental health, and that it might stop kids from learning at school. And now, things are getting even stricter. There's going to be a new limit of 3 hours of gaming a week, and under 18s will only be allowed to game between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Fridays, weekends, and on public holidays.
Well, that's pretty much a parent's dream, but how do they enforce that stuff?
Well, they're using things like facial recognition technology and age-restricted logins to identify young gamers breaking the rules. While some support it, gamers are sure to be a little frustrated and are already finding ways to get around the bans.
America says its 20-year war with Afghanistan is now over after the last plane carrying US troops left Kabul airport this morning. Thousands of soldiers had spent the past 2 weeks helping get Americans and their allies onto planes and out of Afghanistan. But to make their evacuation deadline, some people had to be left behind.
I believe that we're going to be able to get those people out.
Hurricane Ida has left a trail of destruction across the US state of Louisiana. People there are still dealing with floodwaters, and many don't have power. The Category 4 hurricane's now been downgraded to a tropical storm, but it's caused a lot of damage.
We've got 1 million people in Louisiana without power, and some folks are still dealing with the storm surge and flash flooding.
We're about to meet an 82-year-old pilot from South Australia. Chris Peru is a stunt pilot and he's been flying planes for more than 60 years. And he's not coming down to land anytime soon. Here's Cal with more.
Chris, you are all clear for takeoff. In 3, 2, 1. Chris, you're upside down. You're upside down. What are you doing? You flipped the... You flipped.
Yep. If you've got a weak stomach, don't go flying with Chris Peru.
It's a different dimension. Once you get up there, you feel a lot of freedom.
Chris has been taking to the sky since he was 21 years old, but it wasn't the most conventional route to flying.
Basically, I was self-taught. When they used to say, go out and do a bit of revision, I'd go out and put the aeroplane through its paces.
Since then, he's become one of Australia's best aerobatic pilots. In fact, he has the awards to prove it.
I've been the Australian champion 13 times in solo aerobatics.
But his career isn't just awards and fancy tricks.
I've been a stunt double in a lot of movies. The last one was Kangaroo Jack. That was interesting.
Now, at 82, Chris is showing no signs of slowing down and says he's going to keep twisting and turning and flipping and flying upside down for many years to come.
Make a mountain out of a molehill, but I would move mountains to make sure you guys enjoy this show. So I know you guys are going to love these next stories, which are all about mountains. People say they'll go above and beyond for the ones they love. And these lovebirds sure took that literally. This couple spent 3 days climbing this snowy mountain so they could get married at the top of this 6,000-meter high summit. After spending the summer in the Swiss Alps, it's time for these cows to head home. But while some managed it on their own, others stuck in difficult spots or who just need an extra hand or hoof had to rely on some high-flying help. And now that the cows have come home, it's time for me to stop talking. But before I do, why don't you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos, and I'll catch you tomorrow.